Hey, people, welcome back. So, we're talking about the conscious and the subconscious mind, and I said I was going to move further to explain how the subconscious mind retains information because that is really the crux of the matter. And I said that the subconscious mind begins to retain information when it starts to download stuff because the conscious mind feeds the subconscious mind information. And I said that repetition is how it occurs, which is why repetition is so dangerous. By the time you listen to something over and over again, or you see something over and over again, it starts to get downloaded into your subconscious mind. Now, a good way uh, to think about this would be how a computer functions, right? Now, if you're looking at a computer, a laptop, a desktop, whatever it is, what you can see is the display. You can see the monitor, etc., the keyboard, etc. But these things are essentially the external optics. That is not really what makes the computer function. What really makes it function is the hard drive. That is where the information, the things that make it work, that is where it is stored. And that is how the subconscious mind functions, right? All you can see, most of what we know of the brain or the mind is, through our conscious mind, the way we process information, etc. But the core of everything, right? The core of who we are essentially is in the subconscious mind, right? Now, when you want to get stuff from the internet, if you want to get music files or video files, and you go to the site where those things are, you make a purchase, etc. It's going to ask, do you want to download, right? So it's a choice. Do you want to download? So you can either download or let it go. The minute you start to download stuff, it goes straight to your hard drive. And what happens when something is retained on the hard drive, even when you are not conscious of it, it is still running in the background. That is why, if we're exposed to lots of bad stuff, consciously we may have forgotten it. I'm sure you've heard of things like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or things that happen to children when they were little, and 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, it starts to manifest in some sort of unreasonable behavior. Those things had been downloaded and they had been running in the background, right? But consciously, it didn't seem as if the person was affected until an event happened that triggered whatever it was. So the things that we listen to, the things that we hear, and all that, by the time we listen to them, repeatedly, they have started to download into our hard disks or our hard drives, which is essentially our subconscious mind. Now, there's a very popular verse in the Bible, that most people would know, right? And it goes like this: as a man thinks, so is he, right? Although, I think I've talked to you about this before, in a previous episode titled "In His Heart." The full, um, the full verse, right? Because most of us tend to quote it incompletely. The full verse actually says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." So the implication is that there are two sets of thinkings: the way you think, in your conscious brain, someone comes to meet you, you look at the person, you're assessing the person's face or the person's outfit or whatever it is, that is done consciously through your conscious brain, right? So the way you think there doesn't really matter. What really matters is what is going on in your subconscious mind, which is really repository. Oh Lord, that was so funny. All these things happen. Really, a depository, a repository, right, of all the information that we have come to believe, the stuff that is stored, right. That is what makes up our subconscious mind. So when the Bible says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he," it is referring to the way you process information in your hard drive, the things that you have come to believe, the ideas, the concepts, the ideologies, all of that is what makes up your hard drive. And the way you think about stuff in there is really who you are. That is exactly what that verse is talking about, right? So that means that whatever we allow to be downloaded is really what comprises us. The attitudes that we display are a function of learned behavior. Nobody came to this earth hating anyone or being prejudiced, right? Or being a racist or a supremacist, right? All of those things were learned behavior. And if they were learned, then they can be unlearned, right? They can be unlearned. And that is where we really need to get to, which we're going to talk about in a little bit.